Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of the Weekly Wisdom. My name is Ross Tavendale, and I'm the managing director of an SEO company called Type A Media. Now, today we're going to go a little bit lo fi, as you can see, because our videographer is currently on holiday. But today we're going to be talking about something that is really, really close to my heart, and that is the subject of link building. Now, typically people say that, oh God, when we're building links, it's so expensive. You need tons of money. Or some people say you can only do it if it's doing it through digital PR. And to be honest with you, that's just really not the case. If you think about all the tactics from back in the day, all the technical link building stuff, it still works absolutely fine to this day. It's just maybe not as fashionable for people to be doing it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking you through all of the technical link building things that we do for our clients when they have no assets at all. So that means no content to speak of in order to generate the links. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so first and foremost, I just want you to have a think about strategy. So when we're building out link building strategies, I want you to think about links in three major buckets: hygiene, defense, and then growth. So hygiene is just fixing anything that's wrong with the site and making sure the links you would normally get, you are getting. Defense is looking towards your competitors to make sure that they're not pulling away from you and they're not building more links than you at a higher quality than you. So you've always got an idea of what they're up to. And then growth. These are things that we're going to do that your competitors just plain can't do because they're unique to you. And that's going to be your unique selling point when it comes to building these links. Okay, so let's look at hygiene first. Nice and easy one is brand reclamation. If you're being mentioned all around the web, but no one's actually linking to you, it's absolutely fine if you get in touch with a journalist and say, hey, thank you so much for mentioning my content or mentioning my CEO or reviewing our product. We would absolutely love it if you could also cite your sources and link to us. That would be great. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but we've now got it down to a process where we're getting about 30 to 40% of people actually saying, yes, that's fine, and adding the link. So if you've got a lot of brand mentions with no links, this is a great, great way in order to build links into the site. Ways to do that is really simple. Let me just quickly show you inside of Semrush itself. So what we can see here inside the link building module, you've got something called mentions. So what you can actually do is add a bunch of your brand mentions in there. I'd also recommend that you add your CEO's name or anyone who's a public figure in your business so that that also comes up. So if they mention them in the press, you can contact them and get the link. Okay, so next up is repositioning. So typically this is something that isn't really talked about. So let's imagine that you've got tons and tons of links coming into your site already. Where are they usually going? It's usually the homepage. Like 90% of all websites, all the links will go to the homepage, but that doesn't help me. If I sell blue widgets and I've got a blue widgets landing page, I want links pointing to my blue widgets landing page for obvious reasons. So what I would do is I would look at all of the links pointing to my homepage, analyze that content to see if any of it is actually about our blue widgets, and it probably is. And then I would contact those people who have written about my blue widgets. I would get them to say, hey, you've linked to the homepage. Thank you so much. You're an absolute legend, but it's a bad user experience. People are clicking, going to the homepage, and they can't see what you've just written about my blue widgets. So can we get them to point to this one? And most of the time, people are nice enough to update the link and actually put it to the landing page. Again, if you're using Semrush, really easy way to do this is to go into the backlink section and just look at all your index pages. And what it's going to do, it's going to cut out all of the links per index page. You can see here, there's a measly 46 backlinks pointing to our homepage. So I could go in there and make sure that they're all on point in terms of topicality and see if I can get them moved to perhaps a better location. Okay, so the next one, moving on to defensive link building. So the concept of link intersect is really important here. So let's say that 5 of my top competitors all have links from one particular source, but I do not. That's really weird. Why would all of them have a link there, but not me? So what I would do in this instance is I would actually have a look at and see all of my competitors' backlinks, what I can actually go and get myself, because perhaps it's a resource pages or a links page or something like that, where I can reach out to these people and say, hey, you mentioned all those people, we're in this kind of gang too. Do you mind adding us? Surprisingly effective. If you're in the travel business in particular, this is a great one to do. Again, you can go to Semrush Competitor Report to do that. There is definitely other tools out there that have this baked in. So there's like a particular link intersect part. So I would have a little Google around to find something like that. But as you can see here, here's all the competitors for Type A Media, and we can see all the common domains that we share. So if I keep putting all my competitors in, get that into Excel, I can start seeing where all this stuff crosses over, where they're getting links and I'm not getting links. Okay, so moving down, let's have a little look at broken link building. This is by far the most labor-intensive, laborious job you will ever do. It's the concept of finding broken links around the web about the subject matter that you write about, and then contacting a webmaster to tell them, oh, hey, this is broken and I have a similar resource. Whew, how do we do that? Well, what you want to do is you want to have a look at all of your competitor backlinks, extract them, and see what one of them is actually a 404. And then when you see all the competitor backlinks with 404s, you can see what pages that they're 404ing on. You can go to those pages and actually say, oh, excuse me, Mr. Webmaster, I don't know if you know this, but you're linking to a broken resource. And they'd be like, oh, hey, thanks very much. I'll get that updated. Don't ask for the link straight away. Ask for it after they say thank you or engage with you. Then you can say, oh, we have got some like stuff that's very similar to it. As you're updating it, would you mind updating with our link? Strangely effective, but like I say, you're going to be looking through thousands and thousands of backlinks, and realistically, so I gave a great example the other day of how long it takes for this stuff to work. So for one of our clients, we spend 2 days every week just doing this, and they get about 12-ish links out of it every week. So that gives you an idea of the type of scale you need. So 16 hours of output gets 12 links. It's hard work, I'm not going to lie. But if you get no asset, it is a good way of doing it. The Marty McFly technique. So I essentially just made this concept up. The Marty McFly technique is essentially going back in time, seeing things that have already done well, perhaps in 2017, 2015, whatever, and then making an updated version of it, and then pitching it to the exact same people that link to the old version. So we see this in the SEO industry all the time. Perhaps there was like SEO ranking factors, or there was like SEO agency salary infographics from like 5 years ago. We can actually make brand new, fresh content with up-to-date, relevant data, and then we can contact the exact same people that link to it because they're very likely to link to the updated version that we have just created. All right, so next up is resource pages. Now, this might feel a little bit old school, but you can actually get a ton of gems. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this would typically work. So you do an in URL and you would look for something like, resources, and then you just put in some sort of keyword. Top tip here, do not put in a broad keyword. So if we were doing travel, I would never just put in like a massive destination. I would do things like how to get to Dubai or something like that. And what's going to happen, boom, there we go. It's one result. That's a perfect result for us because I can click into there. And if I'm a travel brand, I can see, hey, if you're looking for resources on how to get to Dubai, we can, because they're teachers, we can give them discounts, all sorts of stuff. We make it super broad. Look what happens. Oh my goodness. Loads and loads and loads of resource pages about Dubai. So you probably want to keep this as kind of specific as possible so you can get like a real narrowed list when you're doing your outreach, because I'll be honest with you, like 100 or so contacts to go through per keyword, it's not that useful to me. So that's that one. Next one is growth. Now, when we talk about guest posting, I don't mean this kind of guest posting. We've all seen it, right? In URL, right? For us, and then some keywords. So for example, let's just say, again, we're doing travel. So let's just say travel. Every SEO and his dog is doing this, and it's a terrible, terrible idea to do that at any sort of scale. Why is that a terrible idea? Because it's completely crowded, and those links are almost definitely getting devalued, because if you look at all of the outbound link profiles, it's very obviously SEO manipulation. Now, how can we still use guest posting in order to drive a little bit of value and get links? Well, let's just stay on this travel theme, shall we? And let's look at something called Away. So Away are a luggage company that have been doing really well on Instagram recently, and these guys essentially sell luggage products and travel products. And the thing is, they're like huge on social media and they've got a very active blog. So if I'm a travel business, what I want to do is create some really compelling pitch. I want to pitch them a story to go on their site. That would typically be a guest blog. They're not a competitor, they're a comparator. So they're a complementary company inside of my industry. So what I'd be wanting to do in this instance is get a guest blog on their site, although they don't explicitly offer it. One way to get into that, I would recommend going to find the social media manager or the content manager on LinkedIn and pitching them through LinkedIn. And if you've got some leverage, social media accounts with lots of followers, email lists, whatever, you can say, hey, if you let me guest post on your site, and by the way, it's going to be amazing content. And I don't mean we're not mailing it in, we're not going to Text Broker and getting a $30 article made. We're going to get a proper copywriter to sit and make some really nice stuff, great imagery, the whole thing. They're going to take that, and then you're going to get not only the traffic from their site, but also you're going to get a very high powered link as well. Okay, moving on. This is a little cheeky one. So we talked about reclamation at the start, but we didn't talk about image reclamation. If you're like a fashion company or perhaps a homewares brand or something that's got a lot of its own unique imagery, it's a really easy thing to do to take that imagery and just give it away and put it in places like third-party image sharing websites in the hope that that stuff gets picked up. Let me give you an example of how well this can work. So this is a company called Pexels. Now, I'm sure you've all seen this image everywhere on the web, right? So if we go to Google Images, what we can do is we can do a reverse image lookup of that exact URL. So let me put this in here and let me get rid of all the nonsense. And so what we're going to do is we're going to see everywhere on the web that this is currently being linked from. So when we do an image search, how many do you think is going to be here? 25 million. Okay, I didn't I didn't think there'd be that many. That is a lot. And the point here is like all of these people are using this particular image. So can you imagine if you owned that? I'd just be reaching out and saying, hey, it's absolutely great that you're using our image. It's absolutely fine. It's on a free image library. But oh, great. Can you please cite your sources? And because you've just done a search for business, and this is a very decent business-based website, there's no reason why I can't get in touch and say, hey, can you just put a little caption, a little credit, because it's our image? Really nice way to do it. And it's like a slow burn where you're constantly feeding yourself with lots of links coming into your business. All right. And the last one is a classic, is university deals. This also works for people who've done military service and police and fire brigade and things like that. What I'd recommend is if you've got a retail business, how about offering some deals to students or people in the armed forces and actively reaching out to universities or VA places and things like that and giving them an offer, and in exchange, you're probably going to get a link. Now, people don't do this to get links. Obviously, they do it out of the goodness of their heart so they can help people that are a little bit more vulnerable in society. And that's absolutely the mentality you should be going into this with, not to manipulate links. However, if you get a nice little link out the back of it, that's absolutely fine. Win-win scenario. All right, so a little word of caution. When we're going to do this, I just want you to remember the concept of flop risk. So the way in which I look at flop risk is algorithmic risk versus flop. So flop is essentially, if I come up with a concept and I pitch that to a journalist, they may or they may not want to actually take that concept and run with it. So the potential that the idea flops is quite high. However, if I just go and buy a link from someone's blog, the potential of that flopping is zero because I'm giving them money, they're giving me the link. It's a transaction. However, the algorithmic risk of doing that is very, very high. So when it comes to building out a proper link building scenario, you got to be very careful that you're not hitting things that are way, way too high in algorithmic risk just because they're easy, because we've all seen it time and time again. Do yourself a favor, just go Google penguin penalty or penguin penalty no recovery or my traffic has disappeared. It literally ruins businesses. Now, we're all grown up SEOs, we know that link buying happens, but just be aware if you're doing it agency side, it's completely unacceptable because you're meant to be taking your clients' businesses into a good place. So that is absolutely off the books. However, if you're an affiliate or something like that, or a very difficult niche like gambling or something like that, it's just kind of the way that things are done. So just be very careful and understand the risk profile. And if you're doing it for someone else, make sure you have a big grown up conversation about how you do link building and what's best for them. So that's everything from me. I hope you've really enjoyed this one. If you liked it, please comment down below if you've got any other technical link building tips for me. But until next time, we will see you later.